He has declined an interview.
Really fast. I mean, if I were a cat, I would decline an interview too.
Yeah.
It just seems like the right thing to do.
You gotta be elusive.
Plus, if you talk too much, the humans will eventually, decode your language, and cats can't have that. So,
Right. They have too many ancient secrets.
Yep.
But we're not here to talk about cats all the time, at least. This is Millennial Monologue.
What? With Casey Lowenthal.
And I'm Morgan Humberg.
Yes.
No.
Oh. I thought we were going to go with it. Because if you're listening and you think we sound the same, you haven't been listening that long.
No. But here's something you can listen to. Cue theme music.
Whew. It's been so long, I kind of forgot that we did that. I'm glad that you have a good memory.
I was like, wait, is this the right thing to do?
Who are we?
We are brain fried and quarantined.
That sounds very familiar. I would agree with that statement. Very much so.
Yeah.
Feels like you're a little dead inside, but also ready to hit the club.
But also, like, really, really anxious.
Yes. Every time I go into my backyard, I just, like, take a deep breath, and I'm like, outside world is so good. And then I realize I'm, behind, like, a 6-foot fence, so still kind of trapped. It's great. It's fun times.
I haven't been on a walk in a while. I should do that tomorrow.
Ah, yes. Breathe in those pathogens.
Get a good whiff of that polluted Cleveland Lake.
Yummy. Lake water.
Oh, this is totally unrelated to anything ever, but I learned this weekend that there's an estimated, well, I guess for those of you who don't know, the Cleveland Lake I'm referring to is Lake Erie, which is part of the 5 Great Lakes. But there's an estimated anywhere between 6,000 to 10,000 shipwrecks between all the Great Lakes.
Whoa.
And the person who told me that said that they think there's about 2,000 in Lake Erie, which was a little mind-boggling.
It just doesn't seem like that big of a space to have that many wrecks.
Yeah, and granted, I don't know what the time frame is.
One day. It just turned into the Bermuda Triangle and sucked everything in.
They think there is something similar to the Bermuda Triangle over the Great Lakes where, like, people lose radio signal and stuff.
I believe it. I mean, we don't have a Great Lake here, but we have Lake Travis, which is apparently renowned.
It's an okay lake.
Well, it's like...
It's not a great lake. It's an okay lake.
It's an Lake Travis. But it's renowned for how many drownings occur in it every year. Isn't that a good statistic? I don't know how many, but I just know there's a lot.
That's fun. Growing up near the shores of Lake Michigan, we were always made to be very fearful of the undertow.
The undertow.
Which is like a really strong undercurrent and things that will pull you out and drown you and real exciting stuff.
I think that's called the Loch Ness Monster. Could be wrong here, but
Messy?
I feel like that's already been discovered. I mean, can't just be in Scotland, like there's got to be multiple by now.
Oh, I was going to say, do you think she teleports?
Probably. Just like Puff the Magic Dragon, they can be anywhere they want at any time.
Yeah. I bet they're best friends.
Probs. Most definitely.
Are you guys best friends?
Jokes. We got them.
Yeah.
You don't. No. I'm sorry. I don't mean to insult our audience in the first 5 minutes of this recording.
It's okay. Brain cells, we're losing them.
Very much, very quickly.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
But Morgan, why don't you tell these fine people what we're here to talk at them about?
Well, Casey, I can tell you that with all the sadness going on, we want to talk about how great it is to be an artist during this time of quarantine.
These uncertain times.
Ah, yes. Uncertain times where millions of people are filing for unemployment every day. Isn't it great, the beautiful world we live in?
Yay!
Don't worry, though. That stimulus check is going to pay your rent for a month.
Maybe
not your water. Maybe not your electricity. Probably your rent.
No.
I hope everyone can just sense the sarcasm that is just oozing from me right now. It's great.
Yeah, it's been very interesting being a person who's wanted to work in arts administration for the last 4 years, and now finally getting to work in arts administration for 9 months, and then this happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, very scary.
It's terrifying because you don't know. I mean, we have no clue when it's going to end. I mean,
yeah,
there's literally no inkling. We can open the states whenever we want and continue spreading the virus as much as we want. But yeah, there's no legitimate vaccine or antibiotic.
Nobody knows what they're doing.
And for me, I know I'm lucky enough to have a quote unquote stable job. Nothing is stable right now, just to let everyone know. Even if you do work for an essential business.
Yeah.
But all of my side gigs, I haven't done anything in 2 months. I actually got to get in one film gig right before the whole state shut down, so that was great. But it really sucks to get notifications that there's going to be auditions and all this fun stuff after the pandemic, which obviously has no end in sight. So it's a good time. It's great.
Yeah. How do you put that in your calendar?
Lots of TBDs,
Is it just in the notes section in the back?
Yeah, kinda. You know where you're supposed to put those contacts that are important? Yeah, I just write down auditions that could potentially be happening or not. Yeah, it's a good time. And the boyfriend, Jared, for anybody who doesn't know me, he's full-time musician and was just starting tours before everything shut down. So, and who knows when they're going to start doing live music events again, because that not only has to have people out in public, but a shit ton of people out in public to actually make any money from it. So for the music industry, this is killing.
Yep. I mean, there are certain theaters there's one theater in, oh geez, where is it? Somewhere in the Northeast. I don't remember. But they're basically the only theater. It was the Barrington, I think. New York Times wrote an article about them because they're pretty much the only theater who's we are going to do shows over the summer.
Nice.
They're switching all their programming to shows that don't have any intermissions and blocking out a whole bunch of seats and stuff like that. And what they're doing with bathrooms so basically that was one of the things I've been working on lately with work is what would that look like for my theater? So that's been very interesting and posing a lot more questions than answers. So yeah.
Just curious, what has kind of the virtual theater experience been like for you?
I don't think I've gotten to watch. I've been quote unquote house managing the ones that we've had, and the ones that we've had are like really polished rehearsals, one person rehearsals. So they're still like raw and vulnerable. And that's one of the cool things about it is all these people are getting to see a part of a process they wouldn't normally get to see. Now my cat is sneezing. And so that's really cool. But yeah, this tomorrow, actually, from when we're recording this, tomorrow will be my first time watching one of our performances just as a quote unquote patron.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. So I don't have to worry about running the Zoom meeting and muting people and...
Oh, God. Let's talk about the struggles of Zoom. How about all of them? How is it more draining for us to like virtually speak to people than to actually be speaking to people?
I don't understand. But like Zoom fatigue is real.
So real. I don't even have to have more than like 2 meetings a day, and I'm just like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I put more effort into muting myself and unmuting myself than I did into my actual computer work.
Well, and it's so strange because in an in-person meeting, people are watching you all the time, so I don't know why that's any different.
Right. And I think it's weird for me because I know I'm more on the introverted side. So like being around people and like doing in-person meetings is still draining, but at the same time, like doing it apparently over technology is even worse, which is also weird because we're the millennial generation, so we should be used to all this technology. I mean, we invented ending phone conversations and continuing to text. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah, where you say goodbye to someone on the phone and then you immediately text them, "Hey, what's up?"
Or, oh yeah, this thing that I forgot to tell you. Actually, my calling card is having 2 separate conversations with the same person over different social things. Like I'll be having one conversation with a person over text, and then like Facebook message, it's a completely different conversation, and we just keep them going.
That is the worst. I absolutely hate that. Like if someone starts a conversation with me on Snapchat, but then we were in the middle of texting and I'm just like, but this is the exact same thing, but now I have to open an extra app to do it. Millennial laziness just popping out. I mean, they are.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's totally fine. But you know what I mean? Like we're supposed to be the generation that like thrives in technology. And we're just
I think that's more Gen Z now. They're taking that title from us, and I'm fine with it.
We know the inner workings of everything, though. We were there from like building it up. They just know the external. So
we were there with Tom. Okay.
Mm-hmm. We were his friend once.
Yes.
Were you? It's weird to think that there will be like a generation that doesn't know who Tom is or what MySpace was.
Yeah. I don't know what MySpace is now.
It's some sort of music thing. I don't know. I'm assuming similar to Livewire. Jokes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, was it Livewire or LimeWire?
I don't know, Casey. I didn't steal music illegally.
I didn't either. I didn't have internet in my house until I was in high school.
Samesies. Dial up for the win.
Maybe we're not the best people to have this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I never did that. I honestly didn't even know what the music site was until like high school, and people were like talking about it, and I was like, what is this thing that you refer to? I was definitely one of the last people to have a MySpace. So,
Same.
Yeah.
The only reason I had a MySpace before I had internet is one of my friends in high school made one for me.
No shit.
And then she would just like go on it.
Oh yeah, I had to go to a friend's house and create my MySpace.
No, I mean, like, she just made it for me. And then she was like, I made you a MySpace.
So she was catfishing with your information. That's what that was right there.
Sure, I guess.
Early catfish. No. I was gonna say I was there when she created it, but I had to have a friend like set up me an email address for me and my MySpace and my Facebook, and then there was some other thing that we set up where it was like one of those Sims type social media things. I can't remember what it was, but it was like where you had a person and you were a physical person, which I never got on again because really no internet at home. And my parents password protected it, so.
Oh.
They trust me. I was a good kid.
Me too. But we are here to talk about art.
And alcohol.
And rebellion.
Art. Yeah. Art. And how difficult. I mean, I think we've done a great job of kind of expanding our reach on what we do, like artistically. I'm sure there are a lot of artists right now who are becoming TikTok famous because that's the only creative outlet that they have. I know like musicians are recording, which I've been told makes more money than live shows. And they can do it from the safety of their home with the right equipment. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. I don't have anything that I'm doing productively in my creative life. It's been a good time there.
Yeah, I've been, let's get #deep for a hot second. I've been struggling with feeling like I can identify as an artist for a long time because I've been struggling with my mental health. That's like all I'll get into on that for right now. But like I've been struggling with my mental health for the past few years, and getting this new job, it was a lot of responsibility and a lot of change. And so I was like, I'm going to give myself a year before I like audition or do anything creative. And then obviously all this happened. But so yeah, like a long pause. Like it's been hard to feel the drive to create when you're like just trying to get through the day, or you let yourself get so numbed out that like just watching Netflix all the time. And I'm sure people can relate to that really hard right now. But one of the things, I read an article recently, like toward the beginning of all this quarantine, and it was about not creating art for the sake of creating art. And I really loved that. It was specifically geared toward theater because theater is all about the human experience, and it's all about being live and being there and feeling it with everybody else. And that's so hard to do over a video call. I mean, it still has an impact, and I've seen that with my theater's virtual performances. It's just not the same. And I read another thing that was talking about creativity because, you know, I'm sure everybody here has read 80,000 times, Shakespeare wrote King Lear during the plague. And it's like...
What?
But I'm not Shakespeare. This isn't the 1500s or whenever the hell. It's just been really hard for me in general, and I was struggling a lot yesterday, especially like, well, I'm not even an artist. I don't even have this drive that all these other people are talking about. And it's like, that's okay. I'm coping. I mentioned in one of our last Squibs and Soliloquies how one of my coworkers said, you know, you're creating the art of your life. And I feel like that applies to anybody who relates to what I'm going through, but also like right now or whenever. You're just focused on creating the art of your life and everything else will come. Like I wrote an outline to a play that I'm really excited about that's gonna explore a lot about different areas of social justice and things like that that I feel don't get talked about enough. So I'm excited for that, but I haven't gotten past the outline.
Yeah. I mean, I've been reading that this has just been causing a lot of creative block. And I think because artists are not, if you're kind of a creative, thriving person, your drive is built off of kind of your life experiences. And even if you're introverted, you go take a walk outside and you pull something from it and it makes you want to do something. But if you're just kind of in one spot and you're not that you're not allowed to do anything, but obviously it's safer for you to not do anything.
Right.
You're just not pulling from that. Like I always think about how stand-up comedians like pull directly from their life. You know, like you're not funny if you can't relate to it. That's a thing. You can't laugh unless you laugh at yourself. But it's just like if we don't have those experiences, if they're all virtual, you're right, it doesn't feel real. It's like a live theater experience. You don't feel it as much as you would if you were there, like witnessing it. So you're not pulling from it. So therefore your creative drive is just like, it's fine. We'll be awake tomorrow. Probs. I don't know. It's just blocked. And I don't feel like what I do work-wise is totally artistic, but I do some graphic design stuff. And I'll build maybe like half of a template and then just stop because I'm like, either this doesn't look right or I didn't really have a plan for finishing it. It's just like there's a wall and I can't get through it because I have nothing to pull from. I haven't seen any advertisements or anything. It's just nothing. Squat. My life is a wall and a computer. Happy days, everyone.
Right. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I got myself off track as I so often tend to do. But one of the other things I read was like, and editing Morgan, if I repeat myself, maybe leave this in for shits and giggles. I don't know. But yeah, it's like you can't have the luxury of being creative when you're in survival mode. And it's so, and I could get so political about that statement, but we will keep it here for right now. But yeah, you don't have the brain capacity to tap into that creative energy when you're just trying to get through the day. And there's so much uncertainty and anxiety around that uncertainty that nobody knows what to do. And evolutionarily, that can put you into like a fight or flight or freeze response. And so, yeah, you're not, I don't know, unless that's like your main coping mechanism and how you're programmed and built, like you're not really gonna have all that excess energy right now, at least not all the time.
Yeah. I mean, there are definitely a lot of people who kind of like thrive in this sort of thing, but I feel like it's mostly jobs that don't have that sort of, I don't want to say don't have a creative aspect, but probably more like logical, analytical stuff where you just don't need external stimulants. Extremely hard, but you don't like need that sort of extra boost to keep your mind basically functioning.
Yeah, well, and also going back to what you said at the beginning of that, there's so much pressure to at least looking like you're thriving and looking like, or there's so much societal pressure of like, oh, I'm using all this time. I'm the most productive person in the world. I'm coming out of this with a 6-pack and 10 new skills. Like, that's just not realistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was thinking like how myself and my colleagues both started, like how we started out working from home. At first, it was just kind of casual. We were trying to figure things out. And then probably like day 2 or 3 in, immediately everyone was like all over our chat channel. And we were like constantly messaging. It's like trying to prove that we are home and that we're working and that we're getting shit done. And now we're on like week 6 and we're just kind of like a little dead inside. Like, honestly, our chat channels have been kind of empty-ish. And yeah, we're like struggling to feel that we're being productive, even though we're definitely getting stuff done. It's kind of like I look at my workload every day and I'm just like, I probably could have gotten twice done in the office is what I just did now.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with my boss about this yesterday because I had a mini breakdown yesterday. But yeah, I keep comparing what I'm doing now to what I was doing when everything was quote unquote normal and I was in an office. Like, I was telling her, normally it's like all of these things I could bang out in like 2 days and it'd be fine. I'd be like, give me more things to do. I was telling her that, normally I would be doing all these things and like banging it out, boom, 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 and getting it done in like 2 days. And now it's hard to sit down and concentrate for 2 hours. And all you recovering perfectionists out there can surely relate to what this is. But like, yeah, I just trying to remind myself to be kind, but also do what I can.
Mm-hmm.
This is very strange.
Yeah. I definitely feel like this quarantine has messed with my temperament and my patience with everyone. There was, I will call it an incident at work where I created a graphic and I knew it wasn't right and I knew it needed work. So I sent it to my team and I was like, hey, looking for feedback. What do you guys think? What do you like? What do you not like? And within the next 15 to 20 minutes, one of my colleagues replied in the chat with a completely newly created graphic, obviously using the same text that I used, but it was a whole new design. And I was like, what the fuck? And to make matters worse, my manager like commented and he was like, "Oh, I really like this." And it just hit me like really the wrong way. I spent maybe like the next 48 hours completely like brooding and I was angry and I was upset. And did I confront the situation? No, because I'm not that type of person. I just kind of let it like sit there on the channel for like those 2 days. And finally I reached out to my manager and I was like, so are we going with their graphic design or mine? He was like, oh, I was curious how you were feeling about that. And then I told him, I was like, to be honest, I'm very pissed off. I was like, I know we're a team and that we should be working on stuff together, but I feel like this was overstepping. He's not a designer. He does the analytical, conversational stuff for the marketing team. And I don't feel like he should have just recreated it. I was like, I was looking for notes. I want to work on my own skill level. And it was just overstepping.
Well, yeah, like
really rude.
Clearly he had notes, so why could he not just give you the notes?
Exactly. But yeah, so I told my manager and I was like, I know I shouldn't be upset about it. He's just trying to help. I know what kind of a person he is. But I'm upset. So the next day, I get a message from the guy who, redesigned my thing. And he was like, so our manager, told me that you might want to talk to me about it. And I was like, you son of a bitch. That's not what you're supposed to do.
No.
I mean, technically, I feel like as a manager, you should resolve issues. But I was just like, thanks for ratting me out.
But also, it could have been like, let's have a facilitated conversation with all three of us, not, dude, Morgan's pissed. She's probably going to let you know.
Morgan is coming to your house and she's gonna beat your ass. No, obvious. So yeah, but now we're like 3 days in, right? And I have had time to sit on it and think, and I'm like, well, I have to remember we're in a virtual environment. Design is really hard to critique through notes that you just type up. And I'm sure he's been typing notes all day and he was probably just tired and he was like, I need more notes than just words. So I just recreated the graphic, and he was like, I'm so sorry. I hope you didn't think I overstepped, yada, 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 all the right things that you say to apologize. And of course, I was like, well, I'm also an asshole. Like, I shouldn't have been that mad about it. But like, it was just...
I love that moment when you're like, ooh, it's me.
Oh, self-realization. See, I could be a stand-up comedian. I put myself in a lot of those situations. But like, it was just the fact that I've never reacted like that quickly, like with that much anger that quickly to something until now, because I'm just in this one place with nothing to do but apparently critique my own work.
Never in my life have I yelled at a girl like this.
I mean, yeah. And it's not like I hate this guy or anything. I get along with him decently. I'm a pretty easy to get along with coworker, I would think.
That's what I was just about to tell you.
I would hope. I don't know. I've never worked with myself. So yeah, it just really made me think, like, I have to basically rethink of how I react to situations like this, because there was literally no other way for him to really get his point across unless he wanted to get on a video meeting with me, which nobody wants to do because we've already had 50 that day, you know?
Well, and it was also you talking about putting yourself in his perspective reminded me, like, he was probably excited to get to do something creative. And
yeah, no, he wasn't.
No?
No. To be honest with you, he's actually, I know for a fact that, like, he actually has a freelance job where he works with graphic design. I don't know if he does the design or if he more finds business for people and kind of does the whole middleman thing. But he actually told our manager when he was hired that he does not want to do design work for us. Which, you know, also made me kind of think, no, why the hell did you redo my design? But that's just Angry Morgan. So yeah, but it's just like, I never would have felt that way if we were in the office, you know, like if he just recreated it and then like came to my desk and explained to me, hey, so this is what I was thinking, yada, yada, yada. I was just going to say, I just brooded in my anger for like 48 hours. And obviously I texted and bitched to other people about it. And they were like, did you tell your manager? Did you talk to him? No, I didn't do that. That seems like a logical thing to do. Jesus Christ, why would I do that?
Because then I wouldn't be allowed to be mad anymore, and I want to be mad.
Exactly. I have a right to be mad in my house.
We've all been there. Not in your house, in that mental state.
Creepy.
But yeah, also, like, professional etiquette, I think we're all trying to catch up to how to deal with it in this time with everything being virtual or over phone calls. Like, also, you can't control the way somebody's going to read the tone of your email or your text message or any of that, or your Zoom chat. Like, that, I will tell you, a rule I read somewhere that someone made for themselves that I have adopted, it might really help a lot of people. It's like, I have made a rule for myself that I don't read subtext. I will not let myself spiral and think that somebody is upset with me unless they explicitly tell me they're upset with me, or like, dude, you did a shit job. Because they could just be being straightforward, or that's how it's coming across in their email, or they've also had a really long day and they're also dealing with 85,000 other things that you don't know.
That's true. I don't think people that are mad at me, I always just think people are judging me secretly. Whenever there's like, you know, more than 4 people on a Zoom call, I like watch their facial reactions and you can tell who's like totally not paying attention, and I'll be like, they're messaging each other. I know what they're saying. They're saying my hair looks frizzy today. Morgan probably didn't shower. And you know what? You're probably right. But you don't got to smell it. So what's your problem? You don't got to talk about me.
Is Casey wearing a baseball cap to this staff meeting? Yes, because I have not washed my hair in a week and a half.
Would you like to see it?
Thank you.
That's when you just don't turn the lights on. That's what I do.
Sometimes my cat makes an appearance on Zoom calls, and everybody's really excited about that.
Yeah, my dog makes an appearance all the time on Zoom, and it does make everything better. It's like virtual ESAs for everyone. But no, I love when pets appear on Zoom calls. It's cute. No, we don't love when pets appear on Zoom calls.
But Morgan, when I buy a house, I'm getting 8 dogs immediately and 3 more cats.
That'll be fun to see on a Zoom call. Casey, did you go to the farm today? No, I'm just at home. What are you talking about?
Oh, did you see my new lamb in the background? I'm now an animal sanctuary.
Right. I really do feel like once this quarantine's over, I might have to kind of like refresh my ESA status so that I can take my dog to work with me, because I feel like this has not only spoiled my dog, but it has certainly spoiled me.
Yeah, I don't know. My cat's gonna be so upset when I have to go back to work. Right, Chesser? He's ignoring me.
I just picture him with like a backwards baseball cap on. He just holds up a middle finger. He's like, fuck off.
Yeah, he's in the... I think all cats are just like teenagers, where they're like, fuck you, mom, but then they're like, but I really love you. Like the other day, he kept meowing at me until I laid down in my bed so he could lay next to me. And then he stopped.
And then he stopped.
Like he stopped
what he
meowing.
wanted and he left.
He stopped meowing. He was like, okay, this is what I wanted. Thank you.
Oh my God. Cats are so weird. They either want you to love them for 24/7 or just ignore them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it.
And you're supposed to just know.
And here we are back at the cat podcast.
Yes.
We're always talking about cats. Kitty cats.
Cool cats and kittens. But no, we're talking about art. Not
Art.
murderesses.
Not what?
Murderesses. Women who murder.
Or are we? Dun dun dun.
Dun dun. These are their stories.
The rest of this podcast is just like intro theme music to shows and random noises. That's what you're in for. You know, I had a thought that was relatable to the topic of this podcast, and it just went right out my mind.
About art?
About art. Damn it. It was really good too.
You're going to be trying to go to bed, and you're not going to be able to sleep because you have insomnia. And then it'll be like 2:35 in the morning. You're going to sit up, and you're going to be like, oh, God damn it.
Immediately gets on Skype to get Casey, and then she doesn't answer because she's sleeping like a good person.
Maybe.
Okay, I'll just call you at 4 then, because I know you'll be awake.
Yeah, that for those of you who don't know, my cat has decided his new breakfast time is 4 a.m. It's a relatively new development. I don't know what changed. Because I've been here for weeks.
Look at that. Our quarantine has even fucked up the animals' sleep schedules. I don't know about anyone else, but I kind of thought, well, now that I'm working from home, I could totally like get up at the same time, you know, do a mini workout and then do work and then do another mini workout and just turn my day into like 2-a-days because I have no excuses. And then I didn't do it. Because work is still just as exhausting from home as it is in the office.
Yeah. That's a thing I think we all forgot about, of like, you're still probably going to have a similar workload.
Yeah.
And then it's also going to be more stressful because you're doing it on your old laptop. But yeah, I've been working on my self-development in a lot of different ways. But I did yoga this morning, and Morgan and we have restarted our squat challenge because Morgan finished and I did not, and that's okay. And I did squats and abs. So I did 2 mini workouts today.
Ooh, I should probably put in some abs. But I'm not going to. I have food to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we laugh a lot, so.
We do. We burn a lot of calories that way.
I think that's where all of my ab muscles come from.
my Apple Watch doesn't count laughing, but I feel like it should. So if you're listening, Apple, you should add laughing as a workout.
Hear that, Siri?
Oh, she heard it. She heard it.
I am always listening.
Always watching.
If you don't know what that's from, you're too young to listen to this podcast. Go home.
I'm watching you, Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski.
Ah, man. Good times. Those were the good old days when, we were allowed outside. And
What's the code of 2319?
Sock. Sock on the head. Sock.
Sock on the floor.
Human sock. I like socks. Let's talk about socks. Just kidding. We're not going to talk about socks.
Not this podcast, anyway.
No, join us next time for Socks Galore. Casey, do you have any positive things that have helped you get through the day? Day-o.
We say day. Daylight come.
Everyone go home. Oh, wait. I'm already home. Daylight comes and goes, and I'm home. Home.
Yes. Oh, man. Now I want to watch Beetlejuice. I can't say it.
You thought I was going to do it. I don't need any sandworms in my home. Hell no.
But to answer your question, Morgan, that I almost forgot, I've been working on creating more structure for myself. That's been really important for me. And meditating has been really, really helpful. And also just observing my thought patterns, observing my habits, and like anything I don't like, I remember that I have the power to change, and reading books and that like help with my self-development. I'm on a real self-development kick these past like year and a half. So that's just continued.
Your agenda is much more full than mine. Like way more full. Like I was just going to say I'm trying to understand TikTok and I'm increasing my Instagram story game.
Today I didn't go on social media at all except for like one hot second because my phone died on a conversation with my mom and I had to tell her I wasn't dead.
I had to tell her I wasn't dead. Damn, that's nice. I know I've been trying to cut my social media down. Like there'll be a day or two where I just don't even touch my phone. And then like the next day I'll be like, oh my God, I can't stop reading what the fuck is going on. What's happening in the world?
Yeah, but like back to TikTok. My sister got me onto it. She loves it. And so she got me to download it finally. And I went on there one day and it was like, you have over 99 messages. They were all from my sister sending me TikToks.
Oh my God.
It just kept going and going and going and going and going.
Dear Lord. I can't even imagine. No, I have some great things in the works. I've been trying not to watch too many TikToks because I know that they suck you in. Like I definitely caught myself 4 hours into TikTok watching one day and I was just like, I need to stop. So I've been trying to put my focus on creating rather than watching.
Okay.
Even if it's something that I'm not proud of, I'm putting it out there. But I have some things in the works. I'm excited. I have some new ideas. It's what showers do for you, just so you know. You just come up with all the best ideas in a shower.
Do you want to know why that happens?
Yes, Casey, is there a real reason why that happens?
Yes, it's because it puts you in like a specific mental state of like between where we normally are and between meditation. So it lets ideas flow more freely.
Oh, I thought it was just because I felt good about myself since the acoustics are so great. And like when I sing, I don't sound terrible.
Well, that too.
And then I'm like, oh my God, I could be a pop star.
That was in the footnotes of the study.
That's interesting. All right. Well, then that makes me want to shower more, but also not run up my water bill. So
yeah,
we'll get this figured out. I'll just install some sprinklers.
I took a bath yesterday. Oh, it's because for whatever reason, my bathtub in my apartment doesn't have something where you can stop the drain and like take a bath, like a civilized human.
Okay, so it's not a bathtub, it's just a giant drain.
But like, it's a bathtub, but you can't utilize it for a bath. But anyway, I found these things on Amazon that like get around it. It's like a drain suction cup cover thing and one that covers your overflow drain. And I put Epsom salts in it and I just sat in there for like an hour and I was like, this is glorious. It was the perfect temperature. And my apartment's so goddamn hot. The water didn't get cold, so I was like, this is great.
So you took a sink bath. That's what that makes me think. You talk about like those like plugs, and I automatically think like, oh, the plug that I use to plug up my sink when I wash my dishes. Yeah.
No, it's like it's got like the bathtub drain where like the one where you can't use a tub shroom. Because I was going to because I lose so much hair, but I can't. It's one of those where it's got like the flat cover and just like the holes, so the really scary one.
Mm-hmm.
And I got like this suction cup thingy from the internet, put it on there. Science.
God bless the internet.
Yeah.
So things we've learned today. 1, it sucks to be an artist in quarantine.
Woo!
2, you can easily plug up your bathtub.
Yeah.
The more you know.
The more you know. Morgan, have you been feeling the urge to be creative or artistic in any other ways, like any other, besides creating TikToks, which everyone go follow Morgan?
Or wait, you can wait until I get some actual good content out there.
Or you can follow her now and be a hipster. Be like, I knew her when.
Oh, geez.
It sounded like you were saying, oh, geez, not like, oh, geez.
Oh, gee. Oh, geez. Oh, gee. You know, I don't feel like, I guess I've been trying to take more liberties in the kitchen. I've been trying to, like, when I do cook and or bake things, I'm usually really anal about measuring. Mm-hmm. And I've been trying just to do my own shit, which I never do because perfectionist in me is like, follow the recipe, Morgan, follow it exactly or it won't taste good.
Fold in the cheese.
So yeah, so I've been trying my own stuff. So far I haven't killed myself or given myself food poisoning, so that's a plus.
Yes.
I've also been thinking about taking a look back at my script that I wrote for the senior capstone project and maybe revising that to a more I don't know, I guess just a better script now that I have some experience. And maybe submitting it to a festival if those still exist after we're done here.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's been on my mind. You know, I haven't touched it yet because I'm a little scared to. But I feel like what I had was a good concept. So if I feel like writing, I might touch that up.
We'll see. That's so exciting. Can I still do your gore makeup?
Of course.
Can we reprise our cameo roles?
Hell yes. Cannot be done by anybody else.
No.
Yeah, other than that, I kind of feel like everything else is pretty much the same. Like I'll look at stuff in my house and I'm like, oh, I'll get to organizing that. But I definitely do not still have the urge to do that. So yeah, but baking stuff and feeding my depression and emotional instability has been really helpful.
Yes, that's good. You said the decluttering things. It reminded me I have on my list, I don't know when I'll get to it, hopefully soon, but Chester, what are you doing? My cat is being a cat and just going everywhere. I don't know what's happening.
And we're back to cats.
That was your plan all along, wasn't it, Chester?
It's always their plan. It's always, let's talk about cats, baby. Let's talk about them and me. Talk about their furry feet. Let's talk about how weird their buttholes are and why they need to show them to us.
Hey, stop licking that.
That means he's happy. He has a theme song.
He's licking paper and I hate the noise.
Is he like trying to roll a joint or what? What kind of operation you got going on there, Casey?
Maybe. I don't
hide
know.
some catnip somewhere.
I don't even know anymore. Maybe I got into the catnip, Morgan. I don't know.
I believe it. You know, I've always wondered what it would be like if a human smoked catnip. I'm sure it would smell the same as like weed.
Or just like rolled around in it.
Just rolling some catnip. Do we not do that at parties? Is that not a thing? Should I cancel that order of catnip?
I mean, that's just our parties. That's just the parties with us.
How weird would that be? Like, and over here you have the bar. And to your left, you're going to find the catnip pit. Feel free to roll around when nobody else is there.
Or when other people are there. We don't tell you how to live your life.
Just don't scratch anybody.
Yeah.
You arrive and you're like, here's my vaccination papers. They're totally up to date.
You don't have your rabies shot. You can't go in the catnip pit.
That's a party right there.
Sometimes I forget that people can't really tell when we're sarcastic.
Oh, we were totally being sarcastic. There's no such thing as catnip parties.
Nope.
Nope. We
don't feel like all maybe. If you don't know what it is, you just haven't been invited to one.
Sounds like some of our audience just isn't cool enough to hang with us.
I still get jealous. God, I should not sing.
No, we should just host our podcast from the shower. Then we will be like rock stars. Just,
you know, that's why they did that scene in Pitch Perfect, because they wanted to exploit bathroom acoustics.
I've only seen that movie once.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I trust you.
It's a scene in the bathroom.
No way.
I know. That's our...
Another thing about artists when you lose your creativity is you really just start laughing at everything.
Oh, that's not just me?
No. It's like being high all the time, but without the joy of it. You're just laughing. I guess in a way we kind of all turned into the Joker.
Oh, God.
Isn't that a little terrifying?
A little bit.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your thought process on thinking of what you were going to say.
That's okay. I have no idea what I was going to say.
That just feels like life right now.
Yeah.
Just like when I got on my Zoom meeting today to explain a content plan, my mind went totally blank. And I was also looking at my notes. I was totally, like not cheating, but, reading and doing a terrible job of reading.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, the weather is sunny today, looking to be cloudy later. They're saying it's going to rain on Friday. We're going to push this out on social media next week.
There's a 30% chance that it's already raining. Apparently me in quarantine is just lots of quotes and references.
I mean, what else do we have to do in quarantine? Work? Just kidding. Not that I think anybody from work listens to my podcast, but if you do, I'm working all the time.
Yes, me too. But actually...
Yeah, I know. I feel like it's easier to say that I'm working because, like, when you have stuff that you, like, turn in, they're like, they obviously have to look and be like, well, they're doing something.
Yeah.
You're right. I am doing something. I'm being productive.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this pretty much sums it up.
I feel like, yeah. I feel like that's... I think that just, like, is, like, testament to how terrible this quarantine is for artists, because we're just, like, kind of dead inside. Introverted, extroverted, it's like our creativity block is there, and it's not going away.
It's large and in charge.
Yeah. Which is why it's been so hard for us to get back to our podcast, to our fans.
Yes.
We want to be funny for you guys. We want to be engaging. We don't just want to sit here and talk monotone the whole time, because that's what we really feel like in real life. And we don't want you to turn the podcast off after 30 seconds of us talking like this.
Yeah, so that tone and feeling is solely reflected in my posture that you all can't see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just slumped.
Yeah. Yeah, I always think about if anybody's ever seen Office Space, which is one of my all-time favorite movies for some godforsaken reason. And I still, to this day, do not know why my parents let me watch this movie at the age that I was, because it's really not appropriate. But it's so fucking hilarious. And I always think about the guy who's like, so, yeah, I'm going to need those reports from you, like, now. So if you could just get those done, that'd be great.
Yeah, and now he's a meme.
Yeah, I know, but it's, oh, fuck. I love that movie. Younger generation just doesn't get it. It's so good.
Really like the guy who is so emotionally attached to his stapler.
It's just my stapler. Can I move in my stapler and burn the building down? Yeah. Also my favorite.
Chester.
The best thing about my job is that when I moved desks, I received a red stapler and all of my dreams came true.
That's amazing.
And all I can think when I look at it is, I'm just gonna burn the building down. Just take my stapler. Yeah. I love it. Anyways, so y'all, we want to hear from you. What has your quarantine experience been like? Have you been able to get out into the world safely? What's your job
feeling creative?
Yeah. What's inspiring you guys to keep going? Give us some helpful information. We might die in negativity. Just kidding. We have Hoosier Hurrahs to keep us positive.
Woo!
I think we did. I think we could provide our public with a little pick me up.
You know what? I have one. I'm really excited that I haven't had to wear a bra in so long. It's been nice. It's like that episode of New Girl where Jess is unemployed.
It's just a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels natural because it is natural.
Right.
Who invented the damn bra, but they're only helpful when you're working out.
There's a drunk history episode about who invented the bra, in case you're curious.
I'm not curious, but I'm also curious as to how it's drunkenly explained. So hurrah for no bras. My Hoosier Hurrah is about food, because that's what all of my Hoosier Hurrahs should be about. So obviously everyone has been experienced the joys of getting your food delivered, which, sometimes it doesn't always turn out the way you want it to, because especially French fries, if they put it in the wrong container and then they're all mushy by the time they get to you, or sometimes your food might be cold, or sometimes they forget your potatoes. You know who you are. Anyways, so yesterday we decided to try ordering from one of our favorite restaurants that has amazing that has amazing desserts. The problem is that these desserts are like a cookie, a very delicious cookie, and ice cream. So then you have the concern of, are they delivering the ice cream on the cookie? Because then it's all going to be mushy and it's going to be cold. Your ice cream is going to be melted and it's going to be complete crap. Well, I'm here to tell you that they deliver the ice cream separately from the cookie. And boy, was that cookie just as good warmed up in the microwave as it was when they get it to you fresh from the restaurant, because I'm sure they do the exact same thing. But if you've never had a Pizookie, Pizookie, from BJ's Brew House, highly recommend. First of all, you have the cookies and cream Pizookie, which is just, it comes with a little Oreo whipped cream type thing. Ugh, so good. With the vanilla bean ice cream, yes. You also have a salted caramel Pizookie, which I am not a big fan of salted caramel things. I don't order the latte when it comes out. It's just not a thing. But this shit was the shit. They have the warm caramel sauce, or caramel, as some people like to refer to it as. Non-Hoosiers.
Did I say caramel?
Damn you, Casey.
I'm from the region, so I don't count.
Okay. And then it has ice cream as well. And it's just really delicious. And I highly recommend it. And is it a lot of calories? Yes. But you know what? This is the time when you should think about calories that are worth it. And these are calories that are worth it. Totally worth it. Delivery, curbside, if you're brave enough to go out into the world right now because you've been tested negative and you know that you're tested negative and you have no symptoms and you don't have the virus to pass along to people, feel free to support the restaurant business by being one of the 10 people to go in. But yeah, that's my Hoosier Hurrah, is delicious dessert. Always here for food.
And you kept saying like tested negative, and so it reminded me of the episode of The Office. And I just want to thank Michael Scott for reminding us all, or teaching us all, that, negative in the medical field is a good thing.
It is. Thank you, Michael Scott.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
I can't.
This is now a Michael Scott podcast, and he would be so happy.
He would. I half expect him to come through my door right now. Just kidding. It didn't happen. Not even Ryan came. What kind of crap is that?
Ryan never comes. Ryan's over it.
I know. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. So basically, we want you to take away from this podcast that it's hard to be an actor or an artist or whatever, anything involved in the creative aspects of this quarantine right now. But you're not alone. There are plenty of people out there. There are plenty of ways to reach them other than video chatting, which please don't do. We don't enjoy it anymore. Sometimes I cry a little when everyone FaceTimes me.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But just remember that you're not alone. There are plenty of people out there. You don't have to get on social media to feel better about yourself. Find a new hobby, man, for all that time that you don't have for hobbies because you're an artist trying to survive in this world. Do something new. Collect some rocks. Go out to your backyard, pick a couple pieces of grass.
Yeah.
Tell me what Kentucky bluegrass is really like.
You've been waiting to make that joke, haven't you?
Hell yeah. Checking that out of my joke book. Moving on to page 2. I just have one joke per page.
Okay. Well, I just have a question for everybody. It's 9:15 right now here in where I am. Is it acceptable to make cookies?
Is that a legitimate question? Because the answer is always yes.
Or start to make cookies and then be like, oh no, I'm so tired. I guess I just have to eat the cookie dough.
Is that not how to make cookies?
Okay, I thought so, but I just wanted to double check.
Like, do you do something with the dough after you finish it?
I don't know. I thought it was just the dough.
That moment when you realize you've been baking wrong.
Or
that's have you?
That's the nice thing about vegan cookies. I don't have to worry about any salmonella.
Whatever. I eat raw egg cookie dough all the time, and I'm fine.
Oh yeah, I grew up on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this in college, Morgan. When I was really stressed, I would just get packets of cookie dough and just eat the cookie dough.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you know what? We're fine. Did you hear that, Gen Z? We ate raw eggs all the damn time, and we are fine.
Mm-hmm.
Or uncooked flour. I don't know why that's a thing now. I mean, I do, but I don't.
But I think they're just trying to find ways to get us to not eat brownie batter and cookie dough and why? Just let me live my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I think the sugars, break down the egg or whatever. I just don't see it as a problem. I have, knock on wood, never got food poisoning from eating cookie dough. I did get food poisoning from eating chicken and noodles that had been sitting out at room temperature for 3 days. And that was a terrible mistake that I knew before I ate them, but I ate them anyways.
But hear that world, Morgan and I are 26 years young, and we've grown up on raw cookie dough, and we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
and thriving most of the time.
And you know what? We grew up on Midwestern raw cookie dough, which means that there's at least 3 sticks of butter in what we were eating. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And our heart rate is just fine, I think. Sometimes I can feel it, sometimes I can't.
Let's not talk about it.
Are my fingertips supposed to be blue?
I thought it was just because I got cold.
Pretty much. Yeah. Makes sense. What were we talking about again? Cat butts?
I was going to say, well, our clogged arteries want to just tell you that you're doing fine. And we'll talk to you eventually, maybe.
Yeah. And if you're really feeling down, we have some instructions for you. First, go to your favorite podcast channel, whether it be Spotify.
Well, your favorite podcast app.
Oh, app. Yes. Sorry. Lingo. Got to get that English lingo. Yeah. So go to your app. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Anchor.fm, and check out Millennial Monologue. Really brightens your day, gotta tell you. Especially our most recent episode. If you haven't listened to it, do it. Our squibs and soliloquies are great. We're mostly drunk. I mean high. I mean totally
We're funny.
Sober. We're hilarious. Okay. So go to one of those apps right now. Look us up. Hit that follow button. Leave us a review with 5 stars, preferably. 4 I might be able to live with. 5 preferably. Come on, make my day.
Go big or
and
go
then share
but
us.
You're already home, so you have to go big. Ha!
Yeah. Joke's on you. But share us with your friends. Find us, share us. You can also find us on pretty much all of the social media apps. We've got Facebook and Instagram at Millennial Monologue Podcast. And we're on the Twitter at Millennial Mopod, because when you hear us, you always want Mopod.
Yes, we're like s'mores.
Exactly. Ooh, s'mores sound really good. So make yourself a s'more, pop a squat, turn us on. We'll make your day.
That was great.
Thanks. I try.
Or should I say, it sounds good.
Let's fucking do it.
Bye.
Bye. Cat butt.
Chance art.